So, what year did this come out?
1994. 1994. We're doing a 90s vehicle finally. I've been dying for we need to talk something 90s. And thankfully, this appeared in G.I. Joe 319, which I will repeat myself. And if I don't, you can say that.
I don't remember seeing it.
Casey, did you read G.I. Joe 319?
I've read them all.
It was in there when the Joes are back on Serpentor Island. They Serpentor says, send out the Scorpions, and
Oh, okay.
and there's like two of the Scorpions.
Weren't they getting chased over the island? Didn't
Yeah,
they take one?
I think they got one. Yeah. One thing I do miss about covering the comics is the fact that I'm not reading them twice, because I'm reading Longbox Crusade did a new Transformers Chronicles this morning.
Mm-hmm.
So after my son went to his trumpet practice, the first thing I did was I sat down and I read that so I could listen to it while doing chores. So it was just like, it's just something. It's like one of those things. It's like there's a ROM podcast I want to listen to. So this way I can catch up on reading ROM. And then on my own, I'm rereading I'm reading for the first time Howard the Duck.
No desire to read that.
Honestly, I've been blown away by Howard the Duck. The art on it is like amazing. It's like they got some of the best Marvel house artists doing Howard the Duck, but it's just silly.
The other than GI Joe and the Energon stuff, IDW is starting to release the Valiant comics. So it's like IDW and Alien Books are both together putting out Valiant comics, which was I've loved since the early '90s.
Okay, so do they merge, or is it just, or are they doing like the Image model?
I think kind of like the Image model. The IDW is like almost like a silent partner, kind of, if that
All
makes
right.
sense.
Well, I know all the small, since the Diamond thing has,
Yeah.
like, some of the smaller guys are really struggling,
Mm-hmm.
so they're pooling resources, which I think it's kind of good right now for the industry to have a little bit of a contraction. Like, I don't want to see like major amounts of people losing their jobs or stuff like that, because I still believe in comics, but I think you know, it blew up a little too much, and we kind of need to, these smaller guys need to be able to focus like the bigger guys and pool their resources, because the quality's out there. It's just not it's not always in the mainstream books. Like, I think DC right now has a stronger writing than Marvel.
Marvel, I mean, it seems like they just they'll do like 10 issues to start over again at one. 10 start. Where is the continuity? I want 300 issues of something. I don't know.
No, it's that really comes down to editorial, because you and I, we have a longing for the days of when Jim Shooter and Tom DeFalco were editors in chief,
Yep.
and it's and all of this comic stuff really changed in the mid to late 90s. And at the end of the 90s, there was a major contraction. Lots of guys lost their jobs. A lot of things changed. And then in the early 2000s, we saw I don't want to call it a renaissance, but there was like new life everywhere in the comics industry. And we rode that wave. We rode the wave for a long time. I think it's just a cycle thing.
Speaking of Jim Shooter, he was the original editor for GI Joe, right?
Editor in chief,
Right.
yes.
Do you know what else he was editor of, and actually did a lot of writing for? The original not Valverse, I'm sorry, but Valiant comics.
Yeah, no, yeah. He was a major part of Valiant.
Yeah.
He was also in what? He's got his start in DC, and you know.
So who's this guy on the front?
Oh, all right. Well, we want to dig in.
Yeah, I
All
mean,
right.
I'm here to learn tonight.
Cobra la 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 la.
And that sound means it's the start of another Missal for the Masses. I'm your host, Gary.
And I'm Casey.
And this is the Chaplain Sisters Motor Pod. This is the podcast that's centered around the vehicles, playsets, and even trailers of the G.I. Joe, a real American hero toy line from 1982 to the present day. We mostly focus on the 1982 to 1994 a real American hero vehicles. And sometimes we look at other toy lines, and sometimes we also look at comic books. And in all saying with that military and adventure toy line theme. So, Casey, how are you doing this evening?
Pretty good, you?
I am doing okay. It's great to have it's to timestamp this. This is Labor Day weekend 2025. Have a long weekend, so getting some rest, relaxation, and chores done around the house. And Casey, anything going on? Anything new with you?
What's a long weekend? Because my job, we're only guaranteed one holiday off a year, and that's Christmas. I work Thanksgiving, I work 4th of July, I work every other holiday. I'm not gonna say where I work, but that's that's what it is. So I'm happy for you.
Sorry, not trying to flex. I'm sorry, Casey.
I mean, no, they still pay us for it, so it's just like a lot of extra money on our checks. But how many family get-togethers am I missing because 10 years there and I haven't had any of those days off.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Well, let's steer it back with all this extra holiday cash. Have you gotten anything new?
I've had a great week. First time since Joe Fest, I got new stuff.
Woohoo!
So, and I know the people at home can't see it, but I'll show it to you. Masterverse. I actually stopped collecting Origins. I'm just gonna stick with the Masterverse because the figures are better. I don't have room and cash for everything anymore. But this is Cobra Khan. He's a snake man.
Cobra Khan, not to be confused with Serpentor Khan.
And I watched Cobweb do his review on this figure. If I hadn't already had it ordered, I'd probably cancel it. Tila, beautiful sculpt, but her eyes are looking up. So when you have her facing you, her eyes are still looking up, which I don't get why they did that.
Maybe it's a misapplied paint app.
I don't know, but what he did, Cobweb Collector, he took a different Tila head from another Masterverse figure because sometimes you get extra heads and put it on there and it really improved it. So maybe that's what I'll do. I'm pretty sure I got a couple laying around.
Oh, maybe the story they're trying to tell is she's rolling her eyes at something lame He-Man said.
Well, I'm used to that. I get eye rolls all the time. But my favorite out of the three would be New Eternia Hordak.
Nice.
I love Hordak. Such a great character. And he actually has wings instead of a cape.
Oh,
So
wow. Yeah.
that is awesome. Let's see, what else did I get? Oh, yeah. My wife got me the version 4 Snake Eyes from
Classified series. Yeah.
Classified. And really solid figure. I got, I mean, straight out of the box, you can move them. You don't have to heat anything up. His joints are perfect. So that's a big improvement.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of version 4 Snake Eyes since I got into the G.I. Joe comics because that was the main Snake Eyes I got, like in the late 120s, early 130s. So
Yeah, it's a good one. Me and Eric always have the debate version 3, version 4. I know most people are version 3 like him, but I like version 4, so I was really happy to get it. Then my pride and joy that I got this week was the Valaverse. I don't call it Action Force. I can't do it. It's Valaverse, and it's called Praetorian. I think that's how you say it. My Indiana won't let that come out right, but it's the Fury. So it's the deluxe with he's got dual flamethrowers on right now, but he's also got dual Gatling guns I can use, and the way that I don't know if you can see it or not, but the cable is, like sometimes with the GI Joe cables you struggle to get them where they need to
yep.
go. Not these. Perfect on both ends. They got a lot of flex to them. It's almost like little ropes, kind of.
Yeah, it looks natural.
Yeah. But even for the Gatling guns, the belts going up into them are like this.
Oh wow, nice.
So that is for me. That's a really good week. I did take advantage of their. Is it Labor Day? Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah, that's where we're at.
All right, I took advantage of their Labor Day sale and got some stuff I really wanted. So should get that in a week or so.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, no, I've only got uh two things really to speak of. Uh Earlier this week I got a text from Larry Hama saying my sketch was done
Oh,
from
nice.
Joe Fest. So I got a sketch of Dawn. It's already upstairs in my sketchbook. Uh but it's if you've seen the cover to GI Joe like 246, it's pretty close to that. But it's actually nicer. It's better rendered. She has like a web belt that looks like the Hasbro H, but it's just a very natural. It's I'm actually happy I got this sketch from him. It's beautiful, and it's another one to go in the book with all the other ones I've got from him. And then today this morning my son was at his trumpet lesson, so I snuck down to the flea market in town and I completed my Howard the Duck collection. So I got my Howard the Duck 33. So now I have the full run of volume 1 of Howard the Duck, and I'm, weirdly happy about that.
No, that's
So
great. If it's something you like, that's awesome.
yeah, it is. It's subversive and I love it. And just, comics are fun and they
Yeah.
should be.
Now back to G.I. Joe.
Anyway, nobody's here to talk about talking ducks. People are here for G.I. Joe, and we're going to talk about a vehicle from the end of the Real American Hero line, 1994's Cobra Scorpion. This is from the Battle Corps line, which is essentially the basic G.I. Joe line from 1994 to distinguish it from Ninja Force, Shadow Warriors, from what was the Star Brigade, and what were the enemies, the Lunatics, the aliens. So Battle Corps was the plain vanilla non-spring, non-action feature GI Joe figures, and this was one of the vehicles for that line. Looking at the box, Casey, do you want to? So this is Casey's first time looking at the box. So do you want to describe to the listeners what you're seeing on the box for the very first time?
All right. And just full disclosure, I didn't even know what this was. And when you said, hey, let's do the Scorpion, me, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, Casey's
So,
down for a good time.
hey, I just want to learn. If I don't know about it, here's my chance. So you never did tell me who this guy is.
So the guy riding the side sill,
Yeah.
that is Mr. Bang Bang himself, 1994's Metalhead.
I was going to say Metalhead, but it
Yeah.
seems like he's missing all his missiles.
Well, there were some cutbacks and the
Yeah.
old Mars Industries and Hasbro budget. So, but he also couldn't fit in the vehicle with all that gear.
And who were the Cobras with him?
Those are the 19. That's the 1994 Viper.
Just regular Viper,
That's
nothing
just a regular
special.
Viper. Yep.
All right, they're not as cool as 86. I'm just saying.
I agree.
I think 86 is hard to find, hard to top if you're just talking straight Viper. 86 is hard to top.
I think if there's any indication from the classified series,
Yeah.
yeah, you're not seeing a 1994 Viper in classified series,
No.
but you're getting all the repaints and then some of the 86 inspired Viper. So
Yeah.
yes, it's Ron Rudett, I think, nailed that out of the park.
I was gonna say I've got 3 of the classified Vipers, different ones, just sitting right here on my desk. That's the gray and red one. I've got the Python Patrol, and I got the regular. I don't think it's Cobra Island, but it was a regular one.
Yeah, I just turned around looking at my Terradrome. I got Cobra troopers and officers manning it, but I don't have any Vipers. Vipers are the guys out in the field. They're the ones doing the wet work.
I've got Techno Vipers and Tele Vipers in my.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, but so yeah, you got the Vipers. One Viper's driving, one Viper is firing off the missile,
Mm-hmm.
and Metalhead is hanging out the side, firing his semi-automatic rifle.
And is he also firing the other, like the Gatling gun up there? Looks like he's got his hand on it.
Yes, he does.
He's putting in double duty.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a little ridiculous.
Yeah. But 94 Joe is a little ridiculous. That's all right.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, you got the Gatling gun firing, you got the missile firing, and you got the vehicle. It's riding off stage left, and it's you got a nice 3/4 shot of the front, the right side, and a little bit of the top going on. It's molded with the beige body and the black, armor. And just this thing I've noticed, I've looked at this for a while, but I just noticed it today. So the GI Joe logo, the is scrolling up on the left side of the box, and right
Mhm.
above it, it says in the same GI Joe font in small letters, "Cobra, the enemy."
Yep.
And then if you go up top, you have the classic Cobra enemy logo from like the early '80s next to the Scorpion name. So, and then of course we get the missile launcher shoots
Yeah.
with an asterisk, and the asterisk stands for other weapons do not shoot. It also says caution, do not aim weapon at eyes or face, and the figures are sold separately.
So it looks like Metalhead is blocking a couple missiles back there. Are those launchable, or or is those the holding for the launcher up there?
Well, Casey's just picked this up off the shelf, so now he's going to flip the box over to the back.
There we go.
So those missiles are part of the missile launching system. So what you do is you take, after you fire the one in the missile launcher, you take one of those and you pop it in. And again, so we're getting the same picture in the back of the toy as the front. You get a nice right side view. It is a pre-production. So, but we have a light tan body and black armor, black accessories. The biggest difference between that and the real toy, Casey, is you don't have the pegs showing in the center of the wheels. They're showing
Mhm.
like a little bit of like a Lego hubcap.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks hubcapped.
The text on the back reads, deserts are scorching hot wastelands where soldiers push the limits of physical and mental exhaustion. Only the toughest men and equipment survive the brutal sandstorms and heat, which is why Cobra chose the Scorpion as their desert attack vehicle. Its mission, to blast G.I. Joe outposts and waterholes like a desert tornado gone wild. And pointing out the features on the photo, we have 360-degree rotating missile launcher, removable fuel tank, 3 missiles, desert terrain monster tires, pivoting Gatling gun, opening armor-plated hood, V8 power plant, Oasis mashing front bumper, holds 5 Cobra figures.
Comfortably?
I wouldn't say not forced. I'll say this, not forced, but I wouldn't say comfortable. And I'm looking for the last and I'm just going to say, you know, I always say it, but I don't see it. But there's no sturdy construction for rugged play, and I'm a little sad. You know, I have the Indian tear going down the side, like it's the end of an era.
Pick that pop can up.
So yeah, so I mean, you're getting a good view. It
Mm-hmm.
for the most part is like the actual toy. You have one other little, I'd say a little difference is the decal for the Desert Scorpion logo right here on the side. It has a black background
Mm-hmm.
versus the toy actually has a silver background. So, so I'm showing. So for the listeners, I'm showing Casey all the differences because you know he's unfortunately without a Desert Scorpion or a Scorpion. A Desert Scorpion is a different GI Joe toy.
Reminds me of the classified figure coming out. The desert.
The Desert Scorpion.
Yeah, but the scorpion that comes with them, it's like almost as big as him. It's insane.
Yeah. I mean, I hate saying this, but like, you know, Classified keeps doing these great things, and it's just like
They're making all the improvements I wanted them to make when I was like, yeah, I'm done with them because they're not doing what I want. And I know that's stupid, but yeah, they're just not doing what I want. I'm nobody. But these figures are all at year 5 are killing. I mean, the construction to them, the posability, the joints aren't all stiff anymore. I mean, they're doing the right things now, and I will buy the ones I want. I won't buy them all.
yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. So, all right, so with the box, 1994's box done. We're gonna scroll. Oh, and just the images I'm also using to educate Casey on the Desert Scorpion is courtesy of Carson Metaxas's 3djoes.com. Excellent resource if you're listening along or you want to, you know, find some good images of the toy. You can go to 3djoes.com.
Hey,
And
what?
then
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
no, it's fine.
But you said 3D Joe's and made me think. Was he starting to upload the figures for Operation Recall? Did I see that? Was that something he was doing, or I thought I heard somebody say he was doing that?
I
Because
thought he did that a while ago on the Operation Recall website.
okay, I thought he was doing it on 3D Joe's.
No, I don't. I didn't. Every time I'm on 3D, I know there's links to Operation Recall, but I think
Okay,
it's you know it's on the Operation Recall site.
I know they said Wave 1 by December.
Yeah, crossing fingers
I mean,
at this point.
I'm kind of curious to see where Longbow's at.
Yeah, and then Legends of the Hidden Force.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to, and I know this ain't Scorpion. I'm sorry, but I talked to the guys for Hidden Force at Joe Fest, and they got a little delayed because something to do. They didn't like how the legs wouldn't stay together, and they caught it early enough to where they were getting fixed. So
Yeah,
yeah, push it back to fix it. I get that.
yeah.
But
The guy said they won't remember the weight; they'll remember if the toys suck,
right,
and that has stuck with me. You know, because then you got the other thing that they showed off at Joe Fest to get kickstarted was World War Hell. And
yeah,
Casey, yeah, Casey's agreeing. Casey was agreeing while coughing on mute.
I'm polite.
So.
I'll mute it.
Casey's like, I don't edit, and I shouldn't make Gary edit either.
Nope.
So, all right, so we're on the blueprints, And we have 8 interesting points to talk about. And we got number 1, the 360-degree rotating missile launcher. So that is the spring-fired weapon, as was common in all late 90s or mid-90s G.I. Joe. So that is this little spring-fired weapon, and it has a trigger, which I found kind of like it's weird. I mean, these spring-fired weapons, they do wear out,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not working right now. I've had mixed success getting it to operate. So I'm just going to leave it at that. It's fine. But yeah, so it elevates up and down. It can go to like an almost vertical state to, firing to a little bit of at a downward angle. It has a ratcheting mechanism. So I'm sure if this toy was played with excessively, that would probably wear out. And then, of course, it rotates 360 degrees around. So the driver and the gunner would have to duck. So it wasn't firing through their face.
I have a question, and maybe I looked at it wrong, but in front of the box, I feel like the missile launcher was in the back, and the Gatling gun was in the front.
Good catch, Casey. You are right. You are absolutely right. And I missed that.
It just needs one of us. I get lucky once in a while.
Yeah, Casey's paying attention, folks. He's learning. He's paying attention. So then we go to the number 2 is the pivoting Gatling gun. So that is just something that pivots around 360 degrees on the back. It has no elevation capability, but it's still pretty cool. So, and then the other thing too about the Gatling gun is it's right behind the driver. So only because I don't have a Cobra figure, I just got to see something.
Okay.
So I've had this for a while. So the knees don't bend up when you put the driver in. Okay, it's good. So the Gatling gun is above the driver's head. That's a good sign.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to get hit by friendly fire, folks. That's not a good day. So that's good. Just make sure you're not getting out of the seat while your gunner is firing. Then we get to 3. We got quantity 3 missiles. So they're missiles. This is one of those things that the 90s missed out on, is like the detail, the immersion of the blueprints is waning. We have 4, the removable fuel tank, which essentially just looks like a thin, tall jerry can.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually like that. And it even has a molded cap on the edge. So it's actually a really nice jerry can. I'll just leave it at that. And then we get to number 5, the desert terrain monster tires. And they're basically just paddle tires. And I believe they are a reuse from another vehicle. I couldn't tell you at this point, but I know I'm very confident that they were a reuse.
Not the Badger.
I don't know, maybe.
I feel like the Badger tires are weirder.
Maybe narrow. I don't think it was the so the wheels were original, thanks to yojoe.com, another excellent resource that unfortunately is slowly being lost to time. The wheels for the Scorpion are the same as used on the Bug, the 1988 Cobra Bug, and the Badger.
No, they're different.
And are interchangeable. I think you know who the real expert on the Badger would be.
Sharon.
From Anything Joe's. Yes,
Yep.
That's right. So we get to number 6. We get the Oasis mashing front bumper. I like that just because it's just like ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you get the front bumper. It's got some little teeth on it, and it has like little light pods. They remind me of the lights on your plow vehicle. If you mount your plow and you need to have your headlamps up to shine over the plow, because the plow would be blocking your normal headlamps. this one is molded out of black plastic. And then underneath the pivoting hood, we get the fuel injected V8 power plant. So we don't have any horsepower specs on this, folks. We don't know if it's gas or diesel, but it's just a little engine. It doesn't really look like a V8. It looks more like an inline four, but hey, you got the little engine there. Uh, it's got some hoses and stuff. It has you see the valve cover and the oil fill cap. So you got some detail there. And that's the one thing I always love about G.I. Joe vehicles is the little details, and understanding that little paint goes a long way bringing that stuff out.
We doing our kind of shows, we meet a lot of like customizers and stuff. And I'm surprised I haven't come across, I'm sure somebody's doing it, but with all the great detail that G.I. Joe put into these, but it's like all one color. I'm surprised nobody's in there, painting them the way they should be painted. I mean, I can imagine what that would look like. It would be so cool.
Yeah, and we're going to talk more about it because this is a very short, very short blueprint section, with the last point being number 8, the opening armor plated hood. So, and that's just the hood. The steering wheel is attached to the hood. The windscreen is attached to the hood. You got some purple decals. It's adequate.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's the other thing. So we're talking the vehicles. So this is 1994. So I have 2 of these, and I have 2 of them because my first one, has no missiles. And we're at Joe Fest, we're at Top Dog Comics, and they're running a GI Joe special. So they had 2 Scorpions there. One of them was complete, so that's the one I bought. It was $18.
Oh,
It's like, yeah, it's a little dinky vehicle. It was affordable in the day. And how affordable was it? Well, let's go back to yojoe.com and look up the MSRP. And they don't have that. Not available. So that stinks. Also not available is I don't think there was any flag points on the box.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't see any on either picture on 3D Joe's or on Yo Joe. I don't see any flag points on the box.
Did they do away with them in '94?
Maybe. I know that for like the General Colton figure, that was UPC codes. That wasn't flag points. Going back to the toy really quick, and I'm going to try to show you Casey, and tell the listener what I'm showing you is. So this was kind of a simpler vehicle. You had so according to Yojo, there was 2 versions of the Scorpion, or 2 versions of the Scorpion you're supposed to get. One was tan body and black accessories, and then the other was tan accessories, black body. Also of note on yojo.com was some people got all tan vehicles and some people got all black vehicles. So that means there's essentially 4 variants for this toy. And there's really only supposed to be 2. So that's quality control, Hasbro 1990s.
But I think the purple decals are a great touch. They really, they really add something to it.
It's you have these muted colors. You got the black which that's always a nice military color.
Mm-hmm.
But then you got this nice khaki tan, which is a great desert color.
Mm-hmm.
And you got the dark, gray wheels that have been used since 1988. So they must have had like a million of them in overstock.
Right.
But it's already you're starting with this kind of sort of realistic military vehicle, which is kind of odd for
Cobra for sure.
Yeah, for Cobra, but it's also odd for the Neon 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Which is one reason why I wanted to talk about this. It's a simpler vehicle. So you have your main chassis, your black bits just snap on around it, and you snap your wheels on. The biggest difference is you do have, for the rear axle, you have the rear axle is snapped in place, and then you mount your rear tires to it. I found that odd that it wasn't just part of the chassis itself. But you go down there and you got a little detail in the differential area. And this is, like I said, a hollow shell. Like I said, this is budget, this is a budget
Mm-hmm.
vehicle. But you got a little pop of detail down below in the undercarriage. And then if you look closely at it, you can even see the front suspension. So you have a little bit of like steering mechanism there in the front.
Yeah.
And, so there's detail that, like this thing's like the sculptors were like, we're going to go out with a bang. Or, was this planned for an earlier year or something? But where the missile launcher goes, the pivot for that is like on a gear.
Yeah.
Now your mind is like, so the missile isn't pivoting up top. It's actually pivoting on this huge post that's geared all the way down below. And then let's talk about the seats. Like I said, this thing's going on. So you got texture on the seats. You got molded seat belts on the seats, which again is just, this is reminiscent of good sculpting. So the Gatling gun, if you're a guy that's standing on the back of the Scorpion, a la like the Cobra Stinger, but so he's standing there, he's got a control panel, a molded control panel,
Hmm.
and like a radio or battery there is just, the details are just mint on this. And the driver even has like, there's if you can see where, right there, the
Yeah.
driver has a shift lever.
Yeah. They always try to give you your money's worth on the sculpts. That's nobody can say they didn't.
I mean, this is on the level of like a 1985 toy.
Yeah.
And then you get to the decals. So the decals are a little bit, like you said, you like the purple on the hood. So there's your pop of like Techno Viper purple.
Mm-hmm.
That gives you that little bit of that the Cobra color. But you get, a warning label on the back bumper. You have the Desert Scorpion sticker. So that's funny. It says Desert Scorpion on the sticker, but Scorpion on the box. I think that's almost like a last minute change.
Probably.
Because what was it, 1991 for the Desert Scorpion figure?
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing, and in Casey, I'm going to go back to 3D Joe's, see if you can make it out. You see the decal for the Desert Scorpion. Do you see the scorpion tail coming out of the back of the Cobra sigil?
Right.
And the Cobra sigil itself is kind of insectified. I'm digging that logo for the vehicle.
It's a good one for sure.
And then, I mean, really you go back to just go back to the stickers on the vehicle. So, I mean, you got a toolkit below the missile launcher. You got a sticker for gauges, brightly colored. And then finally, in front of the driver, you kind of got like a hydraulic layout. It's like a fully realized toy, and here's the,
Yeah.
explosive contents on the fender by the Gatling gun. This has been something that I've wanted to talk about a while because I've been impressed with it. And now I'm annoyed my second one has a broken Gatling gun handle because this is something, like, as I'm reevaluating my collection for a couple different reasons, this is one that I want two of, and you want two of because it kind of makes sense to have a little bit of a crew.
Mm-hmm.
You want to send this out. So we're sending this out. We're playing with the toys. Casey, why don't you lead off? You're playing with these Scorpions. You have one in your hands. Maybe you have two. Who are you crewing your 1994 Cobra Scorpions with?
Yeah, as we were talking earlier, I would probably just load them up with actual Desert Scorpions. It seems like a perfect fit.
I mean, obviously the box is showing us Metalhead in the 94 Viper, but I'm thinking Sonic Fighters Major Blood will look really good on this. And actually, I wouldn't use Sonic Fighters Major Blood. I would use the the G.I. Joe Real American Hero Collection recolor of Sonic Fighters Major Blood, which is the brown version of Major of that. And, he has, an elbow on his right arm. I think that would work well. Obviously, like you said, the Desert Scorpion is just like,
It's begging to be on there.
yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's the original thought.
Yeah.
I don't see this as a 1994 vehicle. I see this as playing with, you can mix this in with much earlier figures. You can have 1991 Dusty. You can have 85 Dusty. There's a lot of scenarios where this isn't like sticking out in your play. This could be something that adds to your play. But Casey, one thing that I think you got at Joe Fest and I got at Joe Fest that would work really good with your 1994 Scorpion.
The Delta 17 Desert figures. Perfect.
You heard Casey say it. Yes. Yes.
I was thinking the same thing.
How many Desert Retrograd do you have?
I just got 2.
One to drive, one to sit, shotgun.
Yep.
There you have it, folks.
Put some Retrograd stickers on there.
Casey, you can if you're a bargain hunter, you can pick one of these up for like less than the cost of one Delta 17 figure. So that's I think this is probably one of my favorite bargain toys of the last year. I will say I like this better than last week's feature.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just a little buggy. It's about the size of an Awe Striker. It fits 5 figures, one driver, one shotgun. You can have one each on the, what do you call them? The sills. And then you got one in the back, firing off the Gatling gun. And, you're cruising in style. So, Casey, is there anything else you want to see or, look at on this while I'm showing it off to you and you're learning?
I was pretty impressed with it, actually.
Well, that was my goal, was to get you to spend some of your extra dough when you get a chance.
Might be something I look for at Winterfest. You never know.
That's right.
That'd be my next convention. Winterfest, yeah.
Yeah, I know there's going to be several G.I. Joe podcasts there.
Always is.
Always is.
Yeah. It's so great to see everybody.
Yeah, and you'll definitely see Jim Meal there.
Oh yeah, is he going?
Yep, from G.I. Joe Chronicles Outpost Edition, and Jared Albrecht from G.I. Joe Chronicles. And I'm not sure if anybody else is going from their show, because I have their promo and I'm playing it.
Nice.
Yes.
Only thing is, I don't think I know what they look like. I know what Jim looks like.
Yeah, so just look for Jim.
Yeah,
that'll be fine.
But, I mean, I'll see Scuba Pete. He does Chasing 80s toys. Of course, Order Battle will be there. Anything Joe's. Some good customizers like Alpha One Creative.
G.I. Joe will return after these messages.
I sure do like podcasting about G.I. Joe stuff on G.I. Joe Chronicles and Outpost on the Longbox Crusade Network.
I do too. If there's only a way we could do it without microphones or computer screens, in person.
Well, Jared, have you ever heard of Kentucky?
You want to solve this with fried chicken? I mean, I'm not against it.
No, I mean Shepherdsville, Kentucky. They host a nice little one-day G.I. Joe toy show called Winterfest. The next one is on January 24th, 2026. I say we have a Joe Podcast community meetup there.
Still not sure where the fried chicken comes in, but count me in. Let me see if I can find some KFC coupons.
While Jared does whatever Jared does, let me remind you listeners that G.I. Joe Winterfest is on Saturday the 24th of January, 2026. The location is Shepherdsville, Kentucky. Website is GIJoeWinterfest.com. Jared and I would love to meet the listeners of G.I. Joe Chronicles and Outpost and any other Joe podcast while we're there. We're even going to set up a meet and greet dinner for after the show on Saturday.
Not if I don't find these coupons.
All right. If anyone's interested in joining us for dinner, send an email to contact@longboxcrusade.com. So again, G.I. Joe Winterfest is January 24th, 2026 in Shepherdsville, Kentucky. And our contact email is contact@longboxcrusade.com. We'd love to see you there.
Buy 2 biscuits for the price of 2 biscuits. What kind of coupon is that?
Now back to G.I. Joe.
So Casey, this is your first time seeing it. You kind of want to look for one. What do you think as a gut, where would you rate this on a scale of 0 to 5?
The tires. What were the tires called?
0 to 5 bug tires.
No, what were the tires called? Because I was thinking that'd be perfect when we rate it.
Oh, 0 to 5 Desert Terrain Monster tires.
There we go. I like that.
So how many Desert Terrain Monster tires would you rate this?
It looks great. I've never played with it. Never had one in hand. I would give it, out of 5, I'd give it a 2.5. But if they would have had the Gatling gun in front and the rocket in back, like the cover, I'd probably go up to a 3.5. Because that just seems like it makes more sense.
Yeah, I'll concede that. Yeah. All right. So you knocked this down from a 5 for me. It wasn't that high.
It's not a deal breaker. It would have been better.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this to me is a solid 3.5 out of 5 Desert Terrain Monster tires. It's a solid toy.
Mhm.
It, like I said, I've had one without missiles and a broken handle apparently for a while, and this was one of the things I wanted to find at Joe Fest. Also because I know it's easy to transport from Joe Fest home. Doesn't take up much luggage capacity. So 3.5. You got a 2.5. It averages out to a 3. So
I saw.
when that means it is time to end this podcast. This is the end. This concludes another Missile for the Masses. This has been the Chaplain's Assistance Motor Pod, and thank you for listening. The Chaplain's Assistance Motor Pod is hosted by Spotify for podcasters and is found on many of the other popular podcatchers, wherever you're listening to this now. Please like, share, review, comment, or otherwise interact with this, as it only helps to improve and grow this podcast. For more Chaplain's Assistance Motor Pod, you can find me, Gary, on social media at Chaplain Joe Pod on Facebook, Instagram, and X, and YouTube. Or you can send an email, old school way, to chaplainjoepod@gmail.com.
And if you want to get a hold of me, all those same things except Podcast from the Pit. We have everything. But depending on when this is coming out, I know it'd be this Saturday. I'm not sure what the date is.
I'm sure to have this edited by the first Saturday of September.
All right. So never mind. Go back and watch us.
Go back and watch.
I was going to tell them what we're doing for that Saturday.
Oh.
So never mind. Just check out Podcast from the Pit.
Yeah, every Saturday morning at about 8:00 in the morning.
Just want to wish Eric Hillbilly Harper and his wife Shannon a very happy, 28 years?
28 years.
28.
Happy anniversary, Eric.
Yes. Shannon, you must be a saint.
Yeehaw! The Chaplain's Assistance Motor Pod is the strange but not estranged nerdy little brother of The Pint, a pop culture podcast. And with all of that said and done, one final missile for the masses: be decent to one another.
Take care, everybody.
Oh, good. Yeah, John's a good dude. He's a really good dude. I'm glad I met him last year, or
Dude,
this year at.
he killed it this morning on Podcast from the Pit. Just killed it. He's really creative. And it was basically, the episode was called Story Time with Eric. Eric gave us a scenario, had us pick like 6 Joes for a strike. Of course, we had to rescue Duke because he hates Duke so much.
Duke and Duke and
Yeah.
Airborne.
Yeah, he's killing me on that. But we had to go to Cobra Island, and there was like 4 of us, then Eric too, and everybody's scenarios were really good, except for Jono. He did like a story. It wouldn't just, all right, I got this Joe doing this. It was awesome.
Yeah, I think it's worth a double sawbuck or a sawbuck. What's a 20 word? What's a 20 called? Is it a sawbuck?
I don't know. I'd have to.
I'm
Google
not Googling it right now. So
It's a 20. What is that? Jackson?
yeah, Jackson.
It's a Jackson.
Yeah, one thing coming up for myself is I know your next show is Kentuckiana Winterfest. My next show is coming up October 19th. It is the New England Comic and Toy Convention in North Haven, Connecticut at the Clarion Inn. I got 2 booths there selling off some of my extras, and I'm looking to bring the heat. I just got too much stuff and nowhere to put it. And sometimes you just don't need 3 of a certain figure. So
Sometimes you got to purge.
yeah, sometimes you need a purge for various reasons, creating room and working down maybe a overused credit card bill. So
That's what they're for.